Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to today's stream.
What are you doing, Daddy?
She is my daughter. She is sitting behind me. So today we are going to add like a dashboard application to display the sensors data. So let's see that one today. So where we have left, we have this IoT Edge solution, and the last session we have seen like filter sensor data. So the temperature sensor data, this is going to continuously generate a random temperature. So it's going to simulate the sensor data, so it's continuously generating the random temperature. And if you see that how that's routed here in the deployment template.json, we have this temperature sensor to filter sensor data. So the filter sensor data, it's like filtering all the temperature sensor data and sending only if there is an alert, either like a below low threshold value or above high threshold value. Other than that, everything is happening only in the IoT Edge runtime itself, right? So that's what we take a look at that. Then the next thing what we have done is we have this temperature sensor to dashboard. So we are trying to build a Kiosk application so that the temperature data or the temperature sensor data that would be displayed in the Kiosk or the dashboard application. So the ideal thing is like this Kiosk application we are going to build using React.js, and that also the another IoT Edge module, custom module that would be running in the IoT Edge runtime. So our plan is like to run this React application, and once we install these modules or this IoT Edge solution into Raspberry Pi, then this React.js application that would be considered as like a dashboard application or the Kiosk application for the device. So each individual device have like a simple Kiosk application where it's showing these temperature, pressure data in like real-time updates in the Kiosk, and also in the IoT Hub if there is any data fluctuation or data going above or below threshold. At the time it would be sending to the IoT Hub alerts to send the notification. It's okay, baby. To send the notification to the IoT Hub. So that's what we are trying to. That's what we are trying to have that. So let's. Today, what we are going to do is let me run this IoT Edge solution in simulator so that it will be running in locally. So today we will see like how the dashboard looks like, and probably we will add like couple of more sensor data, at least like the simulator sensor data, and also couple of dashboard widgets so that it would be displaying temperature, pressure, probably like wind speed and the wind direction. So those are the things we will try to add here. At least we would be completing temperature and the pressure widgets in the dashboard. Then other sensor data, it's like following the same pattern how it's done for the temperature and pressure, right? So if anyone like watching this video later, what I'm trying to do is I'm learning this IoT Edge solution. I have done like couple of projects in IoT Hub, but IoT Edge solution I'm trying to grasp few concepts around the IoT Edge. So I'm developing a custom a boat watch IoT solution. The boat watch is nothing but like it's a simple Raspberry Pi application. It's going to continuously watch the sea or watch the marine area, and going to detect like what type of boat is crossing at a specific point, at what time it is, and also it's going to display like a couple of weather information data. So I just come up with this idea like from my own, because I want to bring all the concepts and try to create some simple solution so that it would be coming into that so it would be, so I would be exploring all the stuff if it comes to the real-time project, how everything going to bring in. I have like other idea as well. One of the idea I think I have discussed with like a couple of friends today. I think I have discussed that in Brian Clarkio's stream. So this is what I have come up with this idea. So I'm going to build a fruit fairy application. So the same custom vision model, I'm going to upload all the fruit images and train the machine learning model so that it can identify the fruits. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to export that model and bring into this IoT Edge solution. So whenever my daughter crosses and she's so this is how like I'm going to gamify to encourage the healthy habits. So my daughter needs to, before eating the fruit, she needs to show to this fruit fairy, and fruit fairy will detect this what type of fruit she is eating. Then it's tracking like the time and what type of fruit she is eating, and also it's going to give some encouragements or give some information about the fruit, or give some star ratings or those kind of like a gamifying the experience. So that would be so some fruit fairy animation that's going to gamify like okay, you are eating apple has these kind of benefits, and since you are eating apple like continuously 5 days, I'm going to give you some star kind of stuff. So that's what I'm having a plan. So probably once I get a grasp on this IoT Edge solution, what I'm doing right now, the boat watch solution, then probably I would be doing that stuff, the fruit fairy application. So I think I would stream that also, because I'm doing that one in my free time, so I'd be doing that as well. So now let's go back to our coding here. So you can see this one, what we have seen right now. I'm running the Docker application. Let's see how that looks like. So let's see how this Docker goes. So how is your day, guys? Today my day is very productive. I did complete like a lot of things in my day job. Today it was like a very satisfied day. So how's the day for you guys? Okay, it's doing all the build. I think I have cleaned up my Docker images recently. That's why it's building like from again. I think it's not using cache, right? Yeah, it's rebuilding again all the images. That's why it's taking some time. But once everything, every layer is cached in the Docker, the next time build is like a pretty quick. Okay, let's yeah. So that's the plan. So once I have done with this boat watch IoT Edge solution, and once I grasp like the IoT Edge concepts, then probably I would be starting doing the fruit fairy application for my daughter. I think that's a cool idea, where I can include like a custom mission detection using Microsoft, and also like bringing Azure IoT Edge thing. And it's a good thing to explore in the technology. In the meanwhile, like I can like it will give the satisfaction, like I am building some application for my daughter purpose, so that like I'm also happy on like building that application. Okay, now you can see like here the simulated temperature sensor. So I have 3 modules here. So the simulated temperature sensor, it's sending data to both the modules, including dashboard module and to filter sensor data module. And in the filter sensor data, you can see the code here. So in the filter sensor data, I'm just checking like send to the IoT hub only if the temperature is less than or equal to low threshold or greater than or equal to high threshold. So the sensor is like continuously sending the data. We are not like sending all the data to the IoT hub. We just like filtering those things in the IoT Edge runtime itself. So I'm like only interested in the data whenever it crosses the threshold. So that's why like we are using this filter sensor data, and we set up the route in IoT Edge solution here, so that temperature sensor to filter and temperature sensor to dashboard. So this is the UI application we are trying to build. So this UI application is not for the server to manage all the device. This is going to run in like each individual device. For example, I am going to deploy this in Raspberry Pi. Then each device will have a sensor installed, and that sensor data will be displayed in the Kiosk application or some touchscreen display attached to that Raspberry Pi device. And this one is sending to the IoT hub. So you can see like it's randomly generating the data and sending that information to IoT hub. Okay, now let's see like how the UI looks like. If anyone stop by, say hi in the chat. I am really happy to chat with you guys more than coding. So the port exposed is localhost 3001. So right now you can see like every 5 seconds the sensor is sending the data. So that data is displaying here. I just put everything in like the create React application, the boilerplate generated code. So what we are going to do is we are going to clean up this UI little bit and going to embed the code application into the React, so that like we can see a different widget here, like a temperature widget, pressure widget, and more widgets here. So that's the idea. So today we will be adding that. So this one is like just to prove I'm getting the temperature data from the different module, right? So we have proved that one. So right now we will be adding like more data, more widget into this React application. So let me do we need to stop this? Yeah, let me stop this one. And what I am going to do is in the client project. So this is the React.js client, and I have the server, that is the Express server, that is here. So whenever there is a data, we are sending that to that WebSocket. You can use like a C# version. For example, you can simply having this one with the .NET API and use SignalR to communicate with the either React or Angular application. You can do that communication. I'm just like comfortable with the JavaScript, at least using in my side projects and the learning. Anyhow, like I can do both C# and JavaScript. But for the learning purpose, I'm just using like JavaScript only, because that is easy and fun to do stuff, right? So you can use like both C# and Java, C#, JavaScript, Java, Python. So you can use like a module in these languages in the IoT Hub, IoT Edge solutions. So now, okay, so this is what it's having. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to implement some card view in the React. So let's open the card view, right? So React application material UI. There is a React material UI, right? Yes. I'm not into like the web development. I touched the web development like last year. I didn't like touch the web development for last 1 year. So I might be like searching Google because I want to catch up with the new things that's going on. I'm right now working on a desktop application and another IoT application right now. So let's install this material UI core. I think I already have that one. So if you go to the client package.json, I have the material UI core and the icons installed. Going back to the documentation here. Okay. Load the default. Here we go. If you are using JSX over HTML to render the head, load this one. I think I'm using JSX. App.js. Okay, I think this is what we need. We just like embed this one. In order to use font icon, you must use okay, let me add that as well. This also added. Now let's go to the usage. So the usage says if I need the buttons here, then probably import button and button hello world. So I'm going to just add it here to see like how this looks like. I'm going to remove this logo, which is the app logo. Okay, what it says. Or I can probably move this to here. Okay, now if I run this one, cd modules dashboard client npm start. It's starting that in localhost 3000. In the meanwhile, I have other thing to do. Okay, so the logo is removed. And I have this material button as well. So this is what I want. So right now I'm going to clean up this one little bit. I think I don't need the app class because that's only adding that the CSS file stuff. So I just put like a div here. It should be reloading and I have the button. Okay, that's cool. Now what I need to do is I need to create a card type so that it would be displaying the temperature in the card. So let's go back to our material UI. Before this thing, UI. Before this thing, UI. I just make sure like my audio is okay. Before this thing, I just make sure like my audio is okay. Great, it's okay. Sometimes like I keep on talking, but I didn't hear like any video or audio from the bridge. Okay, so going back to this one, so let's see the documentation here. I am planning to use simple card. So I'm just trying to look like some widget kind of stuff, so that we can design this card to show the temperature in like the big font, so that it would be showing that in the card view. So let me see the source code here. So what they are doing is they have this a separate component, and that component they are having the card content, button, typography. So they are using this one here with styles and simple card. Okay, lot of things. Let me create like a folder here, probably like a sensor widgets and temperature dot, or like I just create another folder here, temperature, and that would be containing temperature.js. I recently developed like a React.js application with a TypeScript, but right now I don't want to bring like too much complexity for learning this purpose. I would not say like TypeScript is a complex one, but the couple of build tools around for like doing the TypeScript, those are the things like complex compared to that. There is an option to create the TypeScript based React application in the create React application itself. Okay, so let's create a component here that is similar to this app.js. Right. So I'm going to import the React and export class temperature widget extends component. Okay, then in the component in the render, they have this card type, so I'm going to just copy this card thing and import these items from the material UI code. Okay, so the couple of things I need to remove: typography, I remove the typography here, and word of day instead of that, like I just like temperature. I don't want these card actions, so let me see how this application looks like. Is it running? Okay, I didn't use the temperature widget anywhere here. So I have this render thing. Then what I need to do is with styles. Okay, so I'm having this styles. It is explaining like what the title size is and what's this. Okay, I think I don't need all this one. I need like only few things: card width and title. So that styles is like classes.card, the minimum width is 275, classes.title, the font size is 14. So that is mentioned here. So this is just a class. So I'm exporting this one with styles of styles passing here, and the component is nothing but the temperature widget. Is that right? Yeah. So I have developed this component. Now in the app.js, let me remove this one and let's add the temperature widget. So temperature dot okay, return card classes not defined. So that classes is coming from the prop types. So let's go to the example here. So this is the prop types we have added. I'm a little bit struggling because I use the TypeScript a lot with the React.js application. And prop types is required. That prop types is coming from this import. So let's do that as well. Classes is not defined. Come on. I'm really struggling. Constructor, and constructor contains props of any. Then here I'm just saying like I think okay. Yeah, so I have this temperature card coming here, but it's coming with the width. So that width is coming here. So I'm really struggling. So it should be something like this: temperature widget dot prop types classes. Console.log props. Okay, so it has a classes.card.title. Okay, so props.classes.card.title. So this also set, and if I'm going to our class route, and this is where it's set. Okay, so it has a class set for temperature widget card 1, and min width is 275 pixel. Yeah. Okay, now I can set up the width here. Okay, that's cool. So, and also I can set up the app.js. So let me create like another div here that's containing all this temperature stuff, and inside this class name is dashboard container, and that dashboard container class is in the app.css. I'm just adding like randomly. So dashboard container margin, let me give 10 em or pixel. Oh, that's too much. 20 pixel. Okay, so now the temperature label is coming here. So if I'm going back to our temperature.js, I just give like a text primary. Okay, so I develop a card with a temperature thing. Then the next thing I need to do is I need to add the another typography so that it would be displaying the temperature data. So in our case it should be like this one. So let me add that here, but instead of this stuff, let me add like 65 degree. How to put the degree there? Is there a superscript? Okay, let me see. Yeah, the temperature card with the 65 here. I need to center align, so let me add like a card with align center. how to center align. React styles center align, or probably text align something. Text align setter. So text align center. Okay, so now it's center aligned this card data. So similarly we are going to add like pressure data and other stuff, but right now keep this temperature alone. So here I have this typography that's containing the primary, then probably like we will add another break line so that there should be line between temperature and 60, not the break line, sorry, HR. Okay, 65. So right now we will increase this one a little bit. H3, probably H1. Is this looks good, or maybe just put back? I think this looks good. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to dynamically set the data here so that whenever the data change, it would be immediately changing here. So for that we will add this prop types, temperature, prop types dot object, or prop types dot what are the prop types available? Instance of exact, object of, or number, here. So whenever this dot props dot temperature, right now it should not be showing anything because we didn't set the temperature here. So what we are going to do is we are going to set up the temperature widget here. So if I'm going to app.js here, temperature is this dot state dot temperature. So default temperature 10 is coming here, but if I am connecting this one to that our IoT Edge solution, then the random generated sensor data that should be displayed. So let's stop this one and let's run this using the IoT Edge runtime solution. So let me going back to IoT Edge solution and run IoT Edge solution in simulator with the Docker stuff. So it's going to add like all the sensor modules in the IoT Edge runtime. So we are going to see that the dashboard display that's displaying the temperature data. So once this is done, then probably we would be smoothing the temperature data so that like the temperature module sensor data change, that would not be rough. It would be very smooth on those stuff. Okay, it's building the Docker. Let's wait. Okay, it's still sending that the Docker component because we changed the code in the React, so it's just like rebuilding that at least in this dashboard module. So let it running here. Okay, still running. We'll wait. So once this is run, then the next thing what we will do is we will just smooth the sensor data. Right now it's like generating the random number, so that one we will look how we can smooth the data. Hmm. Okay, it's running. We will wait. And no, sometimes it's taking like too much time. In the meanwhile, I will check my audio playing. Yeah. Okay, it's moving there. In the meanwhile, I need to do other. So we have this card data, so we would be adding like more data here, but before that we would be adding some nice icon here. So let's search for any vector icon. So I'm trying to build this board watch application, right? So I'm looking for some vote icon here. Anyhow, like this material UI already have the SVG icons, I think. Installation, font icons, material icons. Let's see whether we are having any icons here or the SVG icon. Okay, so I need like the board shape icon. Okay, I have one board, but I want a different thing. Actually, I'm looking for the colored version of this. Let me search in like Google with allowed license here. So going to the tools or settings, I think tools only, right? This is the search settings. Yeah, something like this. So going back to the tools, images, tools, usage right is labeled for reuse with a modification, so that like if we need to modify anything, then I can. Yes. Okay, there are like a couple of icons. I want something simple and yeah, something like this. Yeah, I like this also. I think I am using one icon for GitHub. That also I find that one for label reuse with a modification license. So let's grab that as well. Let's grab that and display that in the React application here. Somewhere here like mode watch or something like that. Where is our boat watch repository? In the meanwhile, the Docker is running. Okay, so boat classification, Docker. So this is the repository we are maintaining for. So I will just edit this one. Okay, so boat classification, IoT Edge solution. It's not like a classification, it's like a boat watch IoT Edge solution. Initially I tried for classification, then later it's coming into that full-fledged IoT solutions, right? So let me reuse the same icon here. I think I have this icon already in okay, let me save that icon in my workspace icon, personal workspace, board classification, IoT Edge solution, modules, dashboard, client, source. Here I put like a icon. I think if I'm having this SVG image, that would be more better for the boat, so that like I can reuse that one for any type of resolution on the devices, so that it would be running in the Raspberry Pi Kiosk application. Okay, let it be running this one. Let's search for the flat icon if we see any other boat type of application, boat type of icon, so that we can integrate that into our stuff. Boat. Okay, everything is priced. How I can select the premium thing? No, that means like a free thing. What is this? Watch out for yes selection and premium resources to take full advantage of your subscription. So yes means like can we do? It says free icon. So let me choose something like this. Let me choose something like this. Sailboat flat icon basic license. It is necessary to credit this author. Yeah, I can credit the author. How to credit? I think just I need to include that in the GitHub. Icon made by from flaticon.com. Okay, I can do that one. Is that the basic license? So I can download that to use it in our application. Okay, in that case then probably we will search for some nice icon there. This is a premium one. Okay, I will choose like this one. So downloading SVG here. Free download, you must credit the author. So I'm copying this one and I will credit the author. So show in Finder. There is a Finder here. Okay, so I have this SVG file. So let me rename that one to logo. So copying that logo SVG and going back to our code here. I have the logo already somewhere here. Yes. So we will in Finder and here source. I already have the logo SVG, that's a React logo. So I'm replacing that one with our logo. And here probably like a app header. I think it's app header only, right? App link, app header. Okay, so div class name with the app header and closing the div, and app header that contains background color and the other thing, and they have the app logo as well. So this logo is used for like animation. We don't need the animation right now, so I just put like a image tag, a source, let me see how this looks like. But in the meanwhile, like we will test the container that's running from the Docker. So this is running from the IoT Edge solution, and this one is wired up with the temperature. Oh, it still has a old code. Okay, what I need to do is, I forgot the stuff in the Docker file of this dashboard module. Let me go back to the Docker. I think Docker file AMD64. Okay, so here like we are copying the package.json npm install app.js, and I'm copying the client/build. So the client should be built before that. So let's do the build in Docker itself. So here let's change the work directory. I think work directory is fine. So run cd client and npm install production, then run npm build. I think npm build, right? npm build. So let's do npm build. Or I can change the work directory here. app/client. So npm install production and doing the npm build here and setting back the work directory to app. Then copying the client build to public so that it's exposing that port there. So let me run this one. Let's see. Build and run IoT Edge solution in simulator deployment template.json. We need to change this one for all the platform, including AMD 64 debug and ARM32 v7 file as well. Okay, so yeah, let it be running. So in our dashboard application, in the client, I need to adjust this Docker a little bit. Right now the module we already have, like, okay, so the IoT Edge solution, it's already have like each individual module as a separate Docker container, right? So I'm having this React application right now. The React application, how it works is the client application, that's a separate npm project or client project. So whenever you build, the build will be containing all the static file. And also I'm having this app.js that includes both IoT hub code and as well as the express code, so that whenever there is a message that's coming from the IoT hub, I am emitting that into the WebSocket so that client can listen that WebSocket connection. For example, like if I'm sending a temperature sensor data every 5 seconds, and this IoT hub module client, that's going to receive that temperature input data, and it's going to emit that into the socket connection, so that our client application, either React or Angular or Vue, you can choose any technology, so that client application is like listening for this WebSocket event. The couple of reasons is this is completely server based stuff, so we cannot run this IoT module client in browser, I believe. I might be wrong, but we cannot run like this Node.js stuff in the client thing. We can use Electron to run this Node.js stuff, so that it would be serving both UI and these kind of native Node modules packages. But I am choosing like this web application, so that from this module to listen for the web application, I'm using WebSocket connection to emit the data, and in the server we are like listening the WebSocket event to display the data. So I'm just looking like is there a way we can merge both the stuff, so that the React application is not purely static application, it can be run side along with that the static server. Right now, like instead of managing the two package.json in the single module, I'm just thinking like, can we have single package.json that contains both the client and server related node modules, and we can deploy that together. So let's see that. In the meanwhile, like, we will see the update. So we just change our temperature component that would be displaying the temperature. So in our IoT Edge solution, the temperature sensor data that's sending the data to dashboard, and also the filter sensor data. So it would be immediately reflecting in this dashboard UI, and the filter sensor data is like filtering the data, whatever it's sending to the IoT hub. Right now everything is managed in the IoT Edge runtime itself, so we should be doing that. I'm just talking like while waiting for the Docker container build. That's interesting thing. Sometimes my Docker is very slow. I need to often like restart the Docker daemon. Might be I'm using the older version. Oh, how to open? Okay, I don't need this any open editor. Temperature.js. And also we need to I'm just thinking like if more sensor widget is added, probably we should be thinking of like a generic way so that we can design the widget template, because our widget is like simply going to look like some card view. Inside the card view we are going to display the data which is sending from the sensor. So I'm just thinking like can we have a generic component so that we are designing like, okay, this is my title for the widget, and these are the subtitle for the widget, or these are the icon we need to show for the widget. Or one of the stuff is like we can add individual sensor data. Whenever we are adding, we can just add the widget here to display that. I think we can keep like this so that it's simple and we can control how every widget looks like. So once this is done, then probably we will add like more sensor to this dashboard. Okay, I changed the Docker script. I think those are running, where it's doing the npm build in the React application and copying the client to the public directory. Okay, so it's successfully built the dashboard module Docker container. So whenever I'm building like a IoT Edge solution, it's going to look our deployment template.json. So here we already have like configured everything. So in the modules content, it has Edge agent and Edge hub, and in the Edge agent we have system modules and as well as custom modules, right? So system modules is Edge agent and Edge hub. Both are Docker containers. So these Docker containers is pulling from Microsoft registry, mcr.microsoft.com. So it's pulling from there and it's running on the actual device. So it's running on the IoT Edge runtime. And if you see the custom module here, we are pushing our custom module code into the Docker container. Okay, I think it's built. So let me run this one. Okay, it's pulling Edge hub device. Okay, it's creating all the module data. Let's see. In the meanwhile, let's go back to our boat icon search. So we downloaded this image to put it in our dashboard application code. Is it running? Okay, I think it's running. So if I refresh this page here, it should be reflecting the new changes. It should be, or it's not running yet. Yeah, it's running, right? Dashboard, client connected. Okay, let me refresh it again. Come on, is it not built yet? It's built, right? Okay, let me stop this one. Probably one stuff I will do. Instead of the building, I just go to the modules, dashboard. I know what's happening here. So if you go to the dashboard, Docker file, I already have the build here. So even it's doing the build when I'm copying the client / build, it's copying from the local still. So the one thing we need to do is, instead of doing like this, we will just like run copy client / build from the local container itself and copy it to the public. I think this will work. So let me go back to IoT Edge solution and run the IoT Edge solution simulator. So it's running all thing again. Let's wait again. I think I need to fine tune my Docker daemon so that like it would not be taking too much time. If it didn't modify, it will use the cache. For example, here we didn't touch the temperature sensor, so it's just like using the cache. The one thing it's getting too late is like because it's sending the build context to Docker daemon. Oh, I got like what's going on. I think it's sending the context to the Docker daemon. I believe it's sending all the node modules to the Docker daemon. So let me add a Docker ignore file so that whenever it's sending to the daemon, it just like ignore the directory. So node modules definitely we don't need, and client node modules, that also we don't need. What are the other stuff? Client / build. Even we don't need the Docker file. Yeah, we don't need the Docker file inside the Docker container. So how to like this? Okay, now if I run this one, it should be pretty quick. Let's see if I'm having the same thing in the temperature sensor. Oh, it doesn't have any node modules installed here. Okay, this also it doesn't have any node module installed here. Here only it's installed, so that's why. Okay, build run IoT Edge solution in simulator deployment template.json. Okay, before that I will stop this one. Oh, that's nice, because it's sending like the entire node modules into the Docker daemon, so that's why it's taking like too much time on sending the context to the Docker daemon. But the build is like still fast because it's using the cache stuff. Okay, now you can see it's pretty fast. But I got some error. Client / build no such file or directory. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, I'm getting this one, I don't know why. Okay, so const stat client slash build, that means let me go to the Docker file again. That means the client is not available on the app. Okay, so will this work? Will this work? Because I'm changing the work directory, so let me run the simulator again. Running the IoT Edge solution in simulator again. Okay, temperature sensor successfully got built. Okay, now it's still the client build no such file or directory. What's going on there? Do you need to CD? I don't know. I don't need to do the CD because I am already in the app. Okay, work directory app, copy package.json. And copying app.js, but it's not copying the client. Oh. Okay, so here let's copy client directory to how it was before. Oh, I don't have the JIT lens. Let me install the JIT lens here. Or I can see JIT status, JIT diff, modules dashboard, client, not the client, sorry, dashboard Docker file, AMD64. Okay, we need to copy like this, copying the client. Okay, let me do that. Copy client into client here. Now apps client npm production work directory app client slash build, then copying that to the public directory user node expose. Okay, I think this should work. Let me run it again. So what we are doing is we are in the dashboard module, we are copying package.json and app.js and installing that one. Then we are copying the client and installing that in the production stuff. I'm not sure whether this production will work or not, because here only we are doing the build, so it doesn't require production. And also I'm just thinking like probably this should be the multi-stage build, so that the build will be happening in like a one Docker container, and the runtime image would be the different Docker container. Okay, let me stop. That's not going to work. Okay, because this will increase the size of known modules. That's okay, it's copied the client and set the work directory client, and it's doing the npm install right now. still doing the npm install. What's in there to do this much time? I think it's only the React and the material UI, right? I think from next time it would not be this much time. This is happening like the first time it's installing these npm packages. Once this is done, it should be cached in the local Docker image cache layer. Okay, so here we have added the temperature. That's the stuff. Let me go back. I'm waiting to complete this Docker images. I seriously don't know what's going on here. So sending build context, that is less because previously it was too heavy. But all the heavy part that's installing, that's running here, this also should be running like in very less time after the cache is done. But why this one is taking too much time to install all the node modules? What's the next step in this Docker file? Okay, not this one. Here. So we are copying the client to client and we are setting the work directory and running the npm install and running the npm build. So the reason why we are having this one is like it should be cached in the npm install, so whenever the code changes, npm build will be running. Okay, so let it be. In the meanwhile, come on. Docker images. So you can see all the images that's building here. So we are building this dashboard image. That is 89 MB. That seems reasonable. But why this one is taking too much time? Probably let me stop this and run it again. Sometimes that helps, right? Okay, it's successfully built the temperature sensor. Now let's see how much time it's taking to install the node modules. This is the step it got stuck. How to look the Docker build logs? Is there a... I know there is a log where we can see that's running in the container. I'm just looking like how we can check the Docker build logs so that we know really what's happening there. Watch logs in real time and building image. Oh, okay. This would be good. Let me stop this. Or otherwise, I need to take a break till this is done. Okay. So, Docker build IO template.json. Okay, now it's logging the error. npm timing stage load current tree completed, load shrink wrap completed. Then why it's not installing? Okay, it's doing slowly. Oh, it's using the node 8.15 version. Yeah, it's using the node 8 Alpine. Probably we should upgrade that to node 10, but I'm not sure like whether IoT Edge runtime that supports. It should be supporting because everything is a Docker container, right? It doesn't matter what version it should be running. But why the npm install taking too much time? Okay, it's fetching the data. It's doing Babel. I think it's downloading from the React scripts. Okay, let it be running. In the meanwhile, I will take a short break and come back.
This is an ad for a project management tool called Monday.com. This is what it looks like, and this is what it feels like.
This one is done with the npm install, I think. It says npm completed, npm info, okay. So it is installed like all the necessary packages. Come on, start with the next step in the Docker container. Usually it should not be the case. It should be doing like immediately. I don't know why this one is taking like too much time. Yeah, now it's going with the next step. It's doing the npm build again and copying the other thing. Oh, it says the npm build. Come on. It's npm run build. Okay. Now you can see the power of Docker cache. It should not be doing all the npm install again. It should be taking from the cache layer. It should be the npm run build. I just put like npm build, so that's why it's asking like npm build call with no arguments. Did you mean to npm run build? Okay, it's successfully tagged. Yeah, it's doing the npm run build. You can see like the other steps, it's everything is like cached. So you can see the using cache under the step. So it's pulling that the individual cached container or cached layer in the container. So it's creating an optimized build. In the meanwhile, like I'm having a lunch. Sorry, I'm having a dinner. Okay, it's creating an optimized production build. Let's wait for that. So once these things done, we should be seeing the dashboard. I don't know why this Docker container is taking like too much time for building this. Let me check the Docker activity monitor. Sometimes my Docker desktop is like, see the memory it's using like 4 GB. Okay, it's done. So it compiled all this React file and created the compressed version of compressed or the modified version of the JavaScript, and it's went together. Okay, the dashboard thing is done. Now it's asking my password. I think I gave it wrong. So it should be running the Docker container now with the pre-built application of the React.js. Okay, it stopped being running the existing containers. So once these containers done, it should be building. It should be running that the newly built container. It's really cool in this IoT Edge solution, so that everything is like Dockerized stuff, and IoT Edge runtime is like facilitating the communication between the modules. But I'm just wondering, like, if we keep on adding the different modules, so we should be really considering like the Docker container size, because we are going to deploy this Docker container or the module container over the air, right? So we are going to deploy that into the thousands of devices that has like a low cellular network, or that might be running on like some pay-based cellular network, right? Instead of like a wired network or the Wi-Fi, some devices that may be running on like cellular data. So we should be really thinking about like the size we are trying to build the container and pushing the update to the IoT devices in the cloud. Okay, now the IoT Edge solution gets started. It's running this filter sensor data dashboard and the temperature sensor. So if I am opening this localhost 3001 here and refresh it again, seriously? It's still loading it from the cache, I think. Come on. So it has a newly added stuff. I think it's throw some error. Logo.svg not found. Yeah, we have this class. So I think I need to look like how this build works. Okay, let's do this thing. So let me stop this. Dashboard client build. So the build should be containing my logo.svg. It's not having. So index.html, it should be having this logo.svg, like how it's showing. Oh, we have this logo.svg as well. But why that's not showing here? Is it somewhere? Okay, so app.js, let me go here, try checking how the logo was done before. So what I am trying to look is dashboard client. So if I am doing like npm run start here, the dashboard is running from here correctly, but it's not running from that the actual IoT Edge Docker container. So that's what we are trying to fix here. So I'm running this one from local. We have this logo.svg, that's a new logo, and app.js. So I'm running it from local. It's starting the development server that is in the localhost 3000. So that's what we are trying to build here. Okay, that's cool. Let me go back to the Chrome here. So this one is running from the local. Oh, why did you see the widget? But it's changing back to oh, okay. I think I need to stop the Docker container here. Docker images, sorry, Docker container. Let's stop Docker container dashboard. The reason it's immediately switching is like there is an application that's running on the same port in the Docker container also. We are trying to run it from the host. So it's happening like it's immediately switching, I believe. Now localhost 3000, it should be running the, okay. Oh, it's way below down here. Okay, let me go to the code. App.js source app.js here. Okay, I think I'm using the styles that's coming from the default one, so I will just remove this one. So if I'm running here now, it should be showing the widget only. Okay, this is cool. So now if I am running this, okay, so here this is fine. Then the app header, I think this one is not working because the app header having the CSS that's having like a full screen, so I don't need to use that's from the default generated React application. So here I just put like a logo. That's what, right? Yeah, just logo. So the logo SVG is like imported here. Import logo from logo SVG, and we are using that logo to render it here. So if I am running the Docker container, again it should be taking less time from cache. and it should be correcting this Docker container build for dashboard application. Hey Michael, yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah, it's a good stuff. So I'm just like trying to learn how the IoT Edge solution works. So I'm trying like different modules to bring it into this IoT Edge solution. Initially I tried like how the communication between the module works, and right now I'm just like trying to integrate the Kiosk application in the dashboard so that the sensor data that would be displayed in the dashboard. So the idea here is like I'm going to use a Raspberry Pi with a 7-inch or 10-inch display. So Pi is going to read all the sensor data. For example, like a temperature sensor data. Here I'm using the temperature sensor. So it's going to get the data from the device, from the sensor, and going to display that in the dashboard. So that's what I'm trying to do. How is your day, Michael? Running npm install again. It shouldn't be. Okay, so here I need to adjust its Docker script a little bit so that it would not be doing the npm install again whenever there is a change in this client directory. So how we can do that one? So here we will do another copy. What's that? Client slash package.json into client, and run npm install production and run cd client and npm install. Then copy app.js, copy client, change the work directory, npm run build work directory application. Okay, let me stop this and run it again. So what I'm doing is like I'm just doing the copying the package.json and the npm install script first. So whenever there is a code changes happening, it would not be doing npm install again, because previously we just copy the client step. So whenever there is a change, it's going to copy and it's running like the subsequent steps, because there is some changes in the previous layer, right? So here what we are doing is we are just copying the package.json to corresponding folder and doing the npm install. So even if your code changes either in app.js or in the client directory, it would not be like running the npm install again. Okay, running npm install.
I can eat anywhere, Mama.
Let's let the npm install complete, then probably we should be seeing like our data. Okay, it's installing all the npm packages. So anyhow, this one will be running on the CI/CD. I'm just thinking like how the IoT Edge deployment would be happening. So each module that would be deployed into the, so that would be like in the CI/CD each modules. So it's going to build all the Docker container like this way. So we can like we can do the CI/CD using the Azure DevOps to build all the modules, the Azure IoT Edge modules. Then once that is done, it would be pushed into that our private repository or the registry. Then what we are going to do is then using the deployment template.json, we should be deploy that into the devices. So we will see those steps little by little once we have done with this dashboard thing. It's pulling all the node modules. This is the reason like the JavaScript haters, they always say like, okay, it's kind of like a huge size of node modules, like more heavier than black hole, right? Some of the modules it's like not necessarily needed, but everything is based on like the dependencies what we are using. So the dependency has like multiple dependency, so sometimes those dependencies are like not needed, or you can skip optional dependencies, those kind of things. See, for React.js, it's pulling like a WebAssembly, a lot of dependencies. Okay, once we finish that, I just want to analyze like how much lines of code that is generating by using the create React application generator. It looks like simple, but in deep thing, it's creating like lot of node modules here, right? So for example, this is the create React application. It has account, I don't know what's account packages. A tiny fast JavaScript parser written in JavaScript. Okay. I don't know what does that doing. See here, it's in every alphabet we are having at least like 25 to 30 module packages. So for having like simple bootstrap application, we are having this much node modules. That's what like it's getting scared for using the packages. But once everything is like packaged using any bundlers or something, you are going to have like the code whatever you are using in your whatever you have used in your code, right? So that looks like okay, but package management on this stuff, and it's taking too much time on pulling the node registry, those things like a little bit crazier. Okay, so now it's done with the npm install. For one widget we are waiting like this much time through running in the Docker. Maybe I should be switching this one to run from the Linux one. I think from the Linux the Docker should be fast, or I should be like fine-tuning my Docker daemon settings so that it would be doing like a pretty fast. Is there any preference here? So Docker, I think I can stop this one. Here I can assign like more memory for the Docker thing. In the Docker daemon, yeah, these are the things I need to fine tune a little bit. Okay, it's going through the further steps. Let's see. Probably in that Docker debug stuff, we shouldn't be doing like all this production build and all. We just like run from the local simulator itself. For example, copy package.json and copying client into client and run npm install and run cd client and npm install. Oh, sorry. Copy client package.json to client and copy similar to this AMD64. Copy client into copy client. Oh, we need to start like the new two things, right? I think I will just reset this one. Okay, it's still running the optimized production build. Okay, let it be building. Okay, it's built and it's copying the build directory. Yeah, let's do that. Now it's successfully tagged. That's great news. So once this is done, then it should be reflecting in Chrome, not on the 3000. It should be running on 3001. In the meanwhile, I will stop my local container so that it would not be clashed with the localhost 3001. Okay. Okay, now it's attaching this one. The dashboard server is running, so localhost 3001. It should be running with the React application what we have built for dashboard. Okay, now we got the data here. So the temperature 10, this is the default temperature data. It should be sending the data like every 5 seconds. So once the sensor module is up and running, the temperature sensor, the module client initialized. So once the temperature sensor data starts sending the data, it should be changing here. So we will see that one as well. So dashboard, yeah. So every 5 seconds it's sending the data here. So every 5 seconds it's like immediately changing the temperature data. Now let's see why this logo was not oh, the logo was like a broke or something. Okay, it should be the logo only. So let me go back to here, image source logo. Yeah, it should be logo only. Maybe I did something wrong in the app.js. So here if I go app.js here, okay, it should not be coming like this, it should be coming logo. So we are importing the logo and we just like added the logo image here. So for this one run, I need to run the IoT Edge thing. Can I run like only one image? Let's see. Run. Oh, I can run like a. I can build the entire thing. I think that's fine. I'm going to stop this and build run IoT Edge solution in simulator using the deployment template.json. Now let's see, it should not be installing the npm packages again. Okay, successfully build, copying client, doing the npm run build because everything is using cache here. Yeah, this looks fine. So whenever the code is changed, unless there is no node modules added in the package.json, it's not going to rebuild or it's not going to like install the node modules again. It's just doing that npm run build, which is running that the optimized build. So once that is done, then it should be immediately running that packages. I think we can control the npm run build based on that the Docker image what we are using. I think if we are using the Docker debug thing, we don't need to like build the optimized build where it's doing like minification or compression, those kind of things. We can just like okay, copy all the JavaScript files and start from that the build, right? So those things we can do. Okay, let it run. Creating an optimized production build. Let's wait for that. I just want to see like how we can run this all the IoT Edge solution without running it in the Docker container, right? Because sometimes Docker container is cool. We are making sure like it's running exactly how it's running in the production, because everything is running on the container. So once the container is built, we can deploy that container in like everywhere. It's going to behave in the same way where we have done the development. But sometimes this kind of process, it's taking like some time. In the meanwhile, like I want to just like run that in the local without any containers or so. Then once I'm done with the development, then probably I would be tested that in the container before pushing that into that our source code, and make sure like I'm testing or demoing that in the Docker container, and that can be pushed into the production, right? So I need to figure out the way like how we can run that in local, because this IoT run edge time solution, everything is running on the simulator only. So the one thing it's the one thing is like it's preventing me at least is client from environment. I think this environment, it's expecting some of the variable, and the IoT Edge runtime solution, it's injecting that environment using the config file. So if I figure out the way like how I can use that edge connection string and as well as edge device whatever that SAS token to the client from environment, then it should be picking up. See here, creates an IoT hub module client by using configuration information from the environment. If an environment variable called edge connection string or IoT hub connection string exists, then that value is used, and behavior is identical to calling from connection string passing that. So I need to make sure like I'm setting this environment variable. So if you go and look, I think my settings, everything is saved in that user settings or workspace. My settings in here, but it should be containing my secret, so I will not be opening that. 1 second, I will move that one to my next monitor. Yeah, my IoT hub connection string, that is configured in my Visual Studio config, but in the real-time environment, it should be coming from some environment variable. Since we are like managing through that Visual Studio code itself, what's happening is like whenever I'm signing into this Azure IoT hub portal, it's pulling the connection string and setting that in the Visual Studio code settings.json, and it's using that environment using from the settings.json here itself. So you can see like if I'm clicking that, it should be containing my connection string there. But in the actual project situation, you are not using the Visual Studio code, right? So we need to inject that environment file or the variable whenever we are running this the deployment. So you can see like there is already a .env file that contains registry username and password, so that like if you are hosting all the sensor modules in the private Docker registry, you can provide this username and password so that you can pull that Docker image from your private registry. Okay, so my dashboard is running and all the stuff. So let me go back to localhost 3000 again and refresh it. Hey, I got the logo. I think I need to reduce the logo and center align here. And once the temperature sensor data starts sending the data, it should be immediately like changing the data here. Okay, back to this one. IoT hub module client initialized. Now the temperature sensor data sending the data, and dashboard start receiving the data. Yeah, now you can see. I think there is some delay where WebSocket is like immediately reflecting. Let's see how that looks like. Yeah, I think this looks good. Now what we need to do is we need to center in this, and we just add like a more sensor data here. So the first thing we will do is I will centerline this logo. Let me do it here and copy that CSS file there. So the logo is here. Where is my div root, div. Okay, the image is here. I think image width is 150 would be fine. Yes, or probably like a 200 pixel. That's right. Then in this div, text align center. Okay, so if this one is like getting reduced like this, I'm having the temperature data. Yeah, it's keep on changing. I think I just use where is that the device? Okay, here is the device thing. So let me stick with okay, the custom thing. Probably I would go with 1024 to 600. This is like the portrait one, right? So let's go to 600 to 1024. Yeah, I think this is the okay Raspberry Pi 7-inch monitor resolution. So I'm just looking like what is the resolution for that, so that we would be building for that one. But anyhow, like we are going to build the dashboard as a responsive 800 into 480 pixel. Okay, so let me keep this 800 into 480 instead of like this one. Let me build like a portrait mode. Let's build it in that landscape mode itself. Okay, I think this should be fine. In this case, probably the image size I just would be reduced to 150 pixel. And text align center, and this one I will just put like a text align center as well. Oh, I don't need this text align center because I'm going to add like more data, more widgets here. So let that it be. Now let's going back to our app.js file. There it is. Node modules. Sorry, in the dashboard client, app.js. So class name would be logo container, and in the app.css dot logo container would be text align center, and inside that, oh, it's not the SAS, dot logo container dot image width is 150 pixel. Is there any other thing I have mixed? Okay, I think that's it, right? So let me stop this again, do the build again and run it. I think I need to reduce this building time. That's a challenge I am looking for, how to improve the developer experience so that we can develop the IoT Edge solution pretty quick. So once this is done, I think pretty much we will complete the we will be done with the stream today, and tomorrow we will be focusing on like more beautifying the widgets, and also we will be adding like a different sensor widget, temperature, pressure, those kind of thing. And once that is done, then the next thing probably will be integrating with the real device. And mainly we need to still call that we need to still simulate that camera module, so that whenever some boat image is coming, we need to detect that using the custom vision AI and send that into that the real-time data. So that would be, we would be adding probably like eventually in our stream. So once we see like this fine tune, then probably we will take like a screenshot and looks how that looks like. Okay, so let me, how to GIF, I think I didn't have those things installed here. GIF maker or Jiffy brew GIF, something like that. GIF, I think it's home. brew GIF Mac GIF brew. Yeah, GIF brewery, so that we can take a GIF here and build that and send that to that the device. Hopefully this one be running this optimized production build. Okay, I need to prepare that the Flutter talk as well. I already done in the Tampa code camp, but there are like a couple of changes. It's done like recently in the Flutter, so I'm going to talk that in the Orlando code camp this month, and so probably I will be spending some time on our Twitch stream, so that I will improve that my talk, and probably like practice my talk in stream itself, so that I can do better in Orlando code camp. Okay, it's stopping all the containers. Let's see. Okay, what happened to our GIF brewery? Download on the Mac App Store. So I need to put some diagram here, like how everything works. So once we figure out our so a couple of things I need to explore: how to add the application inside, how to do the Azure function stuff using C# module, and how to deploy this thing, and how to do that device provisioning for the IoT Edge, so that like we would not be setting the connection string, it would be automatically provisioned into the IoT hub. So those are the things I need to explore. So once I am done with this, then probably I would be adding this more document in detail. Okay, so client connected, everything. Now let me run this React application again. Oh, still it looks like a dashboard IoT. Okay, now it's running. I think the image says as it's not applied yet. It's center aligned, but it's not 150 pixel, I think. Logo container, image. Yeah, the logo container text align, center, but it's not applied to the image. Oh, I put like dot image. So if I am removing this, like this one, it should be refreshing with the 150 pixel. Okay, let me set that 150 pixel here, and let's take the screenshot with 150 pixel. Yeah. So let me take the screenshot here, and also the GIF brewery, let it be running. I'll be sending that one. Probably we would be we would be posting that GIF later once we have added like more sensor data. Okay, I think we have accomplished pretty much good stuff today. Let me commit this one. Git status, git commit. Add a temperature sensor widget into our Kiosk application. Okay, git status, git push. Okay, great. So today what we have seen is like we have added this card widget, the temperature one. Let me close that. Oh, I stopped this one. Run. Okay, let it be running. Okay, now the Edge Hub device started. Dashboard server is running, so we should be seeing the UI here. So this one I'm going to change to 150 pixel. So you can see here like today we have added this temperature widget into the Kiosk application. So this Kiosk application is going to run on Raspberry Pi monitor. So we have this IoT Edge solution having a temperature sensor. So if you see that our route here, we are sending the temperature sensor to filter sensor data. So if it is like a greater than or less than the temperature threshold, at the time it would be sending to the Azure IoT Hub. And also we are sending like a temperature sensor data to dashboard always, so that like whenever sensor data changes, it would be immediately displaying in the dashboard. And from the filter sensor data, it's sending to the IoT Hub. Now you can see from the logs, the temperature sensor, it's sending the temperature and the dashboard is receiving dashboard module is receiving the data and displaying that in the UI. So you can see like the dashboard application here, the Kiosk application, we are going to show that in the Raspberry Pi 7-inch screen. So this would be changing like every 5 seconds. So whenever sensor sends the data, it would be immediately changing. So the few steps what we are going to do in our next stream is we need to smooth this randomly generated data. So it would not be like changes would not be like the delta would not be like greater, because it looks like a very sharp like changes, right? So this would be like very smooth, so that it would be like a 70, 70.5, 71, something like that. So we would be doing that, and we should be adding like more widgets for different sensor, like a pressure, wind direction, wind speed, those kind of things. So next session probably we would add those widgets and make this dashboard beautiful. So if you get a chance to see this video later, please come by and we will network and learn this IoT Edge solution together. Till then, thanks guys, thank you very much. Thanks for coming and joining in this stream. Thank you.